Hello, you're listening to E-Bible Fellowship's new open forum excerpts, and now we present the following excerpt.
Welcome to our open forum program. Please go ahead with your call.
Hey, Chris, could we read 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4, please?
1 Corinthians 10, verse 4. And did all drink the same spiritual drink? For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ.
Could read Numbers chapter 20, verse 11.
Numbers 20 and verse 11. And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice, and the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also.
Could read Luke chapter 8, verse 10.
Luke 8, verse 10. And he said, unto you it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of God, but to others in parables, that seeing they might not see, and hearing they might not understand.
Okay, so my question about this is like, let's say someone who's unsaved read these verses, like just like me and you looking at this, we can tell that it's talking about Jesus when Moses is smiting the rock. But if a person that's unsaved reads these kind of verses, are they being withheld from being able to make the spiritual connection to it by God? Or could you kind of talk about how that process would work for someone who doesn't have God's spirit, like helping them to know what the truth is?
For the most part, we have to recognize there's some mysterious things about this whole idea of knowledge and understanding and in people, because you can have people who profess to understand it, seemingly do understand it for quite a while, could be years, and you could have conversations with them, and then something can happen, and as a result, they go in a backward direction away from these kinds of understandings or these kinds of truths that were opened up to them, and they received them earlier. And I know people like this, but now they lack understanding on these points. How's that possible? I don't know. And I think that's why, God says it's right here in Luke, in this context of parables, right? Look at Luke 8, verse 17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. Take heed, therefore, how ye hear, for whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken, even that which he seemeth to have. So it is definitely talking about parables. What someone has, they'll be given more. That's what in the parallel account in Matthew 13 basically gets into that when the disciples asked Jesus, why do you speak in parables? And he says in verse 11, he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away, even that he hath. It's definitely speaking of parables. And notice the similar language. Whosoever, in Luke 8:18, whosoever hath, to him shall be given. That is this understanding of mysteries of the parables of the Bible. You'll increase knowledge. You'll grow in that area. And whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken even that which he seemeth to have. And the word seemeth is dokio. It's also translated as thinketh. Matthew 17:25 What thinkest thou, Simon? Or John 16:2, whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth God's service. Galatians 6:3, for if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. So it's all intellectual. It's all intellectual understanding, not the heart, not from the spirit that God has given. And because it's intellectual, it's natural understanding. It's natural. It's basically, I think, it would be like someone who learns math, a more difficult form of math, algebra, or whatever the modern mathematics deal with today. There's a complicated formula for coming to truth. Although it's not really that complicated, is it? You search the Bible, compare spiritual with spiritual, you find a defining statement. 1 Corinthians 10, verse 4, that rock is Christ. Okay? And now you see rock equals Christ. Over in Numbers 20, Moses, who we could also define, he can be definitely a type of the law. He's actually used as a synonym for the law in some scriptures. Moses in the prophets, and sometimes it says the law and the prophets. But Moses, the law, has a rod. The rod would be the word or the law. And he smites the rock. He smites the rock. The word smite is kill. It's the very Hebrew, the translation of Hebrew word that is translated to kill. The law kills the rock. And we define the rock as Christ. Twice. He smote the rock twice. And there, God kept that hidden from his people, from all, until relatively recently, the time of the end. And then it all fell into place. The Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. The works finished from the foundation of the world. And so the Lamb slain killed. Who killed the Lamb at the foundation of the world? The law, because he was laden with sin. Sin is the transgression of the law. And the wages of sin is death, declares the law. So he must die. The law smote Christ once at the foundation of the world. And then we know he entered into the world in time and history and went to the cross. And once again, according to the determinate counsel of God, Christ died on the cross. He was smitten a second time. And so now someone can hear that. They can see the formula. Field, Jesus said in a parable, the field is the world. They can get that concept. They can understand that. There's even some natural-minded theologians. They understand that there's different meanings to words in parables. And so you can have someone listen to Mr. Camping or listening now to E-Bible Fellowship for some time. They can grasp these things and they can see the doctrine form. But once God tries the individual, the word in the parable of the sower falls upon different types of ground. It's all falling upon the heart, but the Lord uses different figures. Some good ground would be the elect, and then it grows and it's fruitful. But then there's also falling upon stony heart or stony ground, and cares and troubles and of the world choke the word in another place. So definitely it's true. Circumstances of life, pressure applied at particular junctions or points in time, such as May 21, 2011, where everyone seemingly, so many family radio people following along and understanding the parables and the spiritual teachings, the latest truth coming forth from the Bible as the Lord opened the scriptures at the time of the end, rejoicing in it. I think intellectually, I don't think they were lying. I think they had understanding in their mind. Some maybe not, but numbers of them did. But in actuality, the natural man, an unsaved person is a natural man, cannot truly know the spiritual teachings of the Bible. They can speak them, they can understand them for a time intellectually to a degree, but they don't truly know them. They don't know the truth. They have no love for the truth. They don't know the truth, and Christ is the truth. So they have no love for Christ, and they do not truly know Christ. And actually, it's better put the other way. When they're knocking at the door, Lord, Lord, open unto us. And the answer from the Lord is, depart from me, ye workers of iniquity. I never knew you. I never knew you. There was never that intimate relationship.
Thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for more new open forum excerpts that will be added periodically.